Back in 1998, Tata Motors made the first indigenous 4x4 SUV for India, and that was the Tata Safari. 27 years later, guess who has made the first made in India electric 4x4 SUV for India? Tata Motors. This is the Tata Harrier EV. My name is Arsh Rawat, you're watching ET Auto, and well, if you are one that loves to be proud of made in India vehicles, this is the latest thing to be proud of. The Tata Harrier EV, while retains the core design of its ICE sibling, it gets some EV specific design elements as well. It gets a blanked off grille and revised front bumper with vertical slats. It also gets a closed front grille and EV badging on the front doors. There are LED DRLs that are connected and span the width of the bonnet. It kind of looks very cool. LED headlights are positioned in a triangle-like housing with air intake channels, and the lower bumper has a wide air intake with vertical slats and a silver skid plate. For the base adventure variant, you get a body-colored closed grille, projector LED headlamp and silver accents. From the side, the Harrier EV has a bold and muscular profile with functional integrated side steps. Although the door does not open wide enough for a very easy ingress and egress, you also get thick black cladding around the lower body and wheel arches. You get dual tone 18-inch or 19-inch aero style alloy wheels that further add to its road presence. Blacked out ORVMs with turn indicators and gloss black window surrounds are also present. For the rear, the design is similar to the standard Harrier with connected LED taillights and a sporty roof spoiler. The rear wiper setup is also retained. The rear skid plate features vertical design slats to match the front bumper design and kind of bring it to a uniformity. Now there are a total of 4 different ways to access the boot space of the Tata Harrier EV. The first is you have a button here on the key. You also have a button right here and you have a button at the front. The fourth option is an hands-free option where you just have to slide your leg under the bonnet and it will access the boot space. The boot is quite a capacious place. You get 502 liters of boot space. You also get a spare tire beneath. Now there are 2 ways of getting inside the vehicle, and first one is this beautiful and very cute circular key that also has controls for your park assist feature, but we'll get to that later. The second way, if you've forgotten of missed or misplaced this key, then you also have this. A very thin card that Tata calls very similar to your ATM card, so you can just shove it in your wallet, which I'm not going to show you right now, of course. But these are the 2 ways in which you can access the Harrier EV. Where do you put it? You put it at the center and it will run. Now coming to the interior of the Tata Harrier EV, you will be surprised, which is a great thing, that recently Tata vehicles do not seem like Tata vehicles. They seem like a very upmarket and premium place to be in. Now keeping in mind that this particular vehicle is around 30 lakh rupees, it's only befitting. For example, you get a lot of mixed textured materials all over the cabin. For example, the texture that is here on the dashboard, the soft leatherette, the seats which are ventilated by the way, and the controls are right on the seat. You also get a lot of space is in the Harrier EV and a beautiful and huge panoramic sunroof that further elevates the overall feel and spaciousness in the car. Tata is proud of a lot of things that they've put inside the cabin, and as they should be. And the first thing that they are most proud about is this huge infotainment screen. This is their India's first Samsung OLED infotainment system that holds a lot of your controls. Now when we deep dive into the infotainment system, the first thing that catches your eye is the Amazon Prime Video app. Yes, this car supports streaming, but keeping in mind the safety and everything, it cannot be played while you are driving, and I think that is a great thing. This will come in handy when you're charging the vehicle. Play it and you can charge your vehicle in peace. Apart from that, you get the auto park assist features. You also get drive pay, which is a feature in which you can pay to the very charging station that you are parked in and watching the Amazon Prime Video on. Apart from the screen, you also have this beautiful two-spoke wheel which has controls to mostly everything that you would need while driving. The second thing which you would need are buttons for changing the drive mode that are right here. There are 6 drive modes and we'll get to that when we are driving this vehicle. The seats are very comfortable and offer quite a lot of support while driving and even while sitting idle. So when you're sitting and watching your Prime Video while charging your vehicle, you will not be disappointed. Apart from that, it has adequate under-thigh support and really nice lumbar support. The seats are quite comfortable. Their under-thigh support is excellent. The lumbar support is also very great. The cushioning is also very soft on this seat, and add to it the ventilation. This is a great place to be. Now, while there were a lot of other things in the front to distract you from nitpicking a little, the rear offers no such distraction. And the first thing that I want to point out is that almost every time when you close the door, unless and until you really wham it hard, the door is not going to close properly. Now, the first thing that feels a little problematic is the positioning of the air vents. Although they are positioned on the B pillar to probably save space and give you something in the center, it is not as effective. Also, you cannot control the setting of the fan from the rear and you will have to ask the front passenger to do that. That is another little problem. Now, in terms of space and comfort, the Harrier EV has a lot to offer because in terms of dimensions, it's mostly taller, bigger and wider than all of its rivals. Another thing, the angle of the seat is quite upright, so you do not sit in the most comfortable position. However, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders and 2 adjustable headrests that are really very well cushioned. Now, if you want to make the rear space a little more comfortable and shady, you do have a rear windshade. Apart from that, the leg room is very good. You do get adequate under-thigh support and 3 people can seat here quite comfortably, although there are only 2 adjustable headrests. Thanks to the flat footbed, you do get a lot of space. The seats are scooped out, and if in case you want a little more space, you can further push the front passenger seat from a little button here, and you can have a lot more leg room. Now, first things first. When we say that this EV is 4x4, it actually means that it is a quad wheel drive, which means that there is a motor at the front and there is a motor at the rear. This 2-motor synchronicity has given us an all-wheel drive that actually is very capable for an off-road activity. How do we know so? We've actually done the off-road activities with the Harrier EV twice. The Harrier EV gets 6 different drive terrains and 3 different modes, one of which is the city mode. It also gets 3 levels of regeneration. Right now, I've put it at the highest level of regeneration because we are driving in a lot of traffic. The city driving mode coupled with level 3 regenerative mode, you have your beautiful one pedal driving. It was in 1998 that Tata first introduced its 4-wheel drive capability. And now, after nearly 3 decades, we have what is the latest version of a 4x4 in an electric avatar. Now, Tata has very smartly distributed all of this power into different modes and different terrains, which can be accessed all through this dial right here. Right now, we are in the city mode, and the regeneration levels that are level 1, level 2 and level 3 is currently at level 1. If I take it up to level 3, I can really enjoy the one pedal driving. But now, since we are out on the highway and the weather is so beautiful, let me reduce it, completely turned off, get into sport mode, and it literally glides. It does triple digit speed like nobody's business. Now, you also get a lot of feedback from the ADAS level 2 that is present in the Harrier EV. For example, the lane keep assist, which comes in handy at times like these. It is quite a hoot to drive on the highway, to be honest. Now, in most of the modes, you do not get that instant power that you get so much in electric vehicles. The aim for Tata Harrier EV is to give a very linear and poised power delivery that makes you feel comfortable and confident behind the wheel. To be honest, yesterday when we were doing the rock crawl off-road activity, I did not expect the Harrier to have such a feedback on the highway. The steering wheel weighs up excellent on the highway, although you feel, and just like that the rain has gone, this welcome to Delhi weather, the steering weighs up very nicely on the highway. Now since the weather has cleared up a little bit and we are out on the highway, let me give the boost mode a quick test. The only stark difference between the sport and the boost mode is that the boost mode is slightly more jerky. The acceleration is a little bit quicker, but the delivery is not very smooth. Maybe it will come in handy when you want to make a quick overtake. Now, while we have tested the off-road capabilities of the Harrier EV in unreal conditions, here are pretty real conditions for it. The suspension, I have to give it up for Tata Motors that they have really balanced it so well. We have a pothole coming up and it's not as jerky as one would expect it to be. Like one expect it to be in an EV, to be honest. It really gobbles up potholes and road adulations with quite ease. Now coming to the features that have been the talk of the town regarding Harrier EV, that is the summon mode and the auto park function. The summon mode allows you to remotely control the car to come out of tight parking spaces using the key fob. Now it doesn't work smoothly throughout and there is definitely room for refinement in the software here. In the auto park function, the car will detect a parking spot and take over all the controls and help you park. Similar to the summon mode, this feature also requires some software update as it does not work seamlessly all the time. The Harrier EV is largely divided into two different variants. One, that is the quad wheel drive that is mated to a bigger 75 kilowatt hour LFP battery, and the other is the rear wheel drive variant that is mated with a smaller 65 kWh battery. Now while the quad wheel drive gets total power output of 313 horsepower, the rear wheel drive variants get a total output of 238 horsepower, which is actually not that bad. Charging options include a 120 kWh DC fast charger that can take the battery from 20 to 80% in just 25 minutes and a 7.2 kW AC charger that takes around 10.7 hours for a full charge. So, 27 years. 27 years is what separates the first 4x4 from Tata to the latest 4x4 from Tata, but in an electric avatar. Now, there is an evolution and it is visible in terms of its capabilities and being a 4x4 or quad wheel drive, whatever you want to call it. It will be unfair if you compare it to all the other 4x4s in the market, but this, even at 30 lakhs, is the most affordable and indigenous 4x4 electric that you have available in India. It has its niche carved out for itself while all the while being a tree hugger. Tata's famous niggles and nitpickings are still present in this vehicle as well, but if you are willing to turn a blind eye towards it, the Harrier EV is the most compelling on a budget 4x4 electric SUV in the market, and there is no changing that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do let us know in the comment section what do you think about the pricing, its capabilities, if you would pick any other of its competitors, or if you would go for an ICE SUV, and do subscribe to the ET Auto channel.